Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. And as usual, joining us on a Monday to do a weekend wrap up on the world of sports, we got Jason Cameron. And you know what, Jason, I've been so busy today and this weekend that I decided to pass over the host duties to you tonight. And you can run the show. You can choose to do however you want. You've been hanging out at home watching sports. I've been busy. You're not working. I'm working. What do you think? Do you want to host tonight?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that you need to know about me. Since I haven't been, doing what you do, doing what we love to do, which is working, I've gotten into the mindset of being lazy.
Okay.
Extremely lazy. So when you decide to hand me over the host, like the reins, so I have all the control in the world. Don't know if we really want to do that. To be honest with you, I don't really know if we want to do that. But my natural inclination now, before when I was working, I'd be like, "Give me the reins. I'm never gonna give this back to you. Like you'll never see it ever again."
That's done.
It's done. It's over. But this time, I'm like, well, that's nice of you to do that, but I'm thinking I'm going to make this easy on myself. I'm just going to give it right back to you.
Okay, all right. I guess I can handle it again tonight. At some point, you're just gonna rip it from my grasp and take it over, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy.
Okay.
I don't. Okay.
Right. Appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem.
Anytime. All right. Okay. Well, I'll try my best. I didn't prepare as much as I typically do. Today was craziness. Never really had any time to prepare, but luckily I got to see the basketball. We should get into talking about the conference finals and how they finished, and we've got a finals matchup. We've got another accomplishment for a team that's having a dynasty. 6 finals in the last 8 years for the Golden State Warriors. In this day and age, that is definitely a dynasty and an amazing accomplishment. After 2 years of injury woes and a lot of troubles with Golden State keeping healthy, they've been able to put it together and reach the final again. And then last night's game between the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. Boston really had control for most of the game. They almost blew it at the end, but they pulled it out in Game 7, and they faced the Warriors in the conference. I mean, in the NBA Finals starting on Thursday. So, what are your thoughts about Golden State Boston final?
First off, I want to say with Golden State, I thought the unsung hero in that series against the Mavs was Kevin Holland. I thought he played excellent. He was like a strong, literally almost a double guy throughout the series. Yeah. And he played by far and away his best series in the playoffs in this series. I thought he was excellent. And going forward, I think that Golden State's going to be able to get some guys back, like Otto Porter Jr. Apparently even Gary Payton Jr. is able to come back, and I think he's going to help on their defense immensely. I think that dude definitely going to help on their defense immensely. And then with the Heat and the Celtics, I do want to say this. I need to say this. I think now in retrospect, I think the Celtics were the better team, but they definitely couldn't out-hustle or out-heart the Heat. And the Heat made it Game 7. Or I should say more to the point, Jimmy Butler made it a Game 7.
Yeah,
I think he demonstrated exactly what Heat culture is all about. Heart and hustle. Yeah. And those guys hustle, because that was one of the worst first quarters again that they had. But they kept battling to give themselves even a chance to possibly win the game. Yeah, the Celtics kind of imploded with 13 points, up by 13 with 3 minutes left. But at the same time, the Heat never gave up on themselves. And that's what's so tough about this team. And that's why they gave themselves a chance to win. Yeah.
Well, they're up by 13 with 3 minutes to play, like you say. And then Miami goes on 11-0 run, and they had it right there. Butler had the ball in his hand and went for the game-winning shot. Unfortunately, was a little short. They gave the ball to Max Strus in the dying seconds, and he missed 2 3-pointers. And that was kind of the just the way it had worked in many of these Heat games. He just couldn't, Jimmy Butler just couldn't rely on somebody else to hit a big shot to pull out some of these big wins. Strus was a guy that, very inconsistent this year. When he was on, he was great, but you just couldn't count on him to get that 3-pointer, to get that shot when he needed. Tyler Hero came back in this game, but he only played 7 minutes, didn't have any impact at all. And they missed him a lot. Obviously, 6th man of the year. And, he just wasn't able to play for quite a bit of this conference final, and he just wasn't himself.
No, he wasn't himself. And if he was himself, this game 7 is very different. Very different outcome. Possibly a win for the Heat. But unfortunately, he did go out there. He tried to give him what he had, but it wasn't what we're used to seeing, unfortunately, with that groin strain that he suffered. So, but I still say hats off to the Heat. I think they played admirably. I think them even getting to a game 7 against a Celtics team like that was a feather in their cap for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully going forward for them, maybe they pick up another piece, something else that they need to finally get that push to get back to the finals where they once were.
Yeah.
But now for the Celtics, though, Celtics look good. Like literally, I'm looking at this matchup going forward between Golden State and the Boston Celtics as you have that movement offense that's literally just vicious. It's killer to any defense, but you're going up against one of the most switchable and best defense in the entire NBA.
Yeah.
And so I look at it as, okay, so where's all my points going to come from? And Golden State just seems to have more point getters.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just seem to have more. And then especially if you can look at Andrew Wiggins as your 4th option, that's not a bad 4th option.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. Do you think this final has the ability to salvage what has been a pretty lackluster playoffs? Many lopsided games, blowouts after blowout, a lot of games that, a lot of people probably turned off partway through the 3rd quarter because it wasn't fun to watch when teams are down 25, 30 points. Do you think this final has the opportunity to finally redeem it and make it a playoffs that we can look back on and say, oh, okay, that final was really amazing. And I'm happy that I watched it because it was rough. It was hard to watch a lot of those games in the last few rounds.
Oh, yeah, most certainly. Like there was many games where I'm just like, oh, why am I still watching this game? The game has clearly been over. And so some of the games, let's be honest, they're over at halftime.
Yeah.
Right? They're over at halftime. So my hope is that we'll have a fantastic finals with very close games.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily going to be true for all of the games. I think in for sure there's going to be a couple blowouts just because of the fact that if Golden States get really hot, and especially if Steph and Clay are on, that's a blowout.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like you're getting a blowout there. So, and that can go that way too for Boston. If let's say if Jalen and Tatum get super hot as well, and their defense doesn't clamp down on them, it can go the other way as well. I can see it going both ways. My hope is though, as for you and as for every NBA fan, that most of these games are competitive. That means I can keep watching them past halftime, past the 3rd quarter.
Yeah. With Tatum and Brown, they're able to usually put up 20 to 30 points a game. Marcus Smart stepped up in that game 7 with a great game, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Al Horford really getting rejuvenated when he rejoined Boston. He's been playing phenomenal, and he just broke the record. He had the record for the most games ever played in the playoffs and never going into the finals. So I could see how happy and joyful he was after that game ended. Tears in his eyes. Just said, "Holy cow! This has been just phenomenal to play with these young guys and have the opportunity to go to this final." His prayers were answered, and he's been playing absolutely amazing in these playoffs.
Yes, he has. Like if Looney's been that guy for the Warriors. Al Horford has most certainly been that guy for the Celtics. He's been a breath of fresh air, so to speak, with his scoring punch. And even in this game 7, he still pulled down 14 rebounds, right? Like, so like if he's not getting it done on the scoring end, he's still contributing something.
Yeah.
And he's always contributing something. So it's impressive.
You mentioned Miami and maybe adding another piece. What are they going to do? Kyle Lowry, he struggled in these playoffs. Quite frankly, he's had some injury troubles, but do you think age has caught up to him? Is he, are we going to see a decline with him going forward?
You know what? The possibility's there. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. I think for Kyle and in that body type that he has, because he's a bigger boned man, so to speak, if he comes back in tip-top shape, I will not discount that. Like, I think that would probably help him immensely for extending his career and then extending the period that he still is relevant, still is very, very good. But if he's not able to do that, if that hamstring keeps sidelining him as he's going through his recovery, as he's trying to get in shape for the next season, that could be a problem because, unfortunately, as we know through history, that hamstrings of that nature can linger for prolonged periods of time.
Yeah, I was impressed with the time that when I saw Gabe Vincent on the floor, he seems like he's mature beyond his years and might be the guy to take over the throne.
Yeah. And they do have a guy I think he's ready if they need him. Gabe Vincent is there. I was impressed with his play. I thought he played very well for his first time being in that kind of situation. And hopefully he can take another step come the next year into playing himself into that role. If that's it, hopefully he can and is able to do that.
Yeah. Lowry's numbers were just really not good in the playoffs. He had a pretty good game in game 6, 18 points and 10 assists, but over the playoffs, he averaged 5.6 points, shot less than 27% and missed 8 games with that right hamstring injury. He's still great on defense in getting those charges, but a lot of guys were exploiting him speed-wise when they were driving to the hoop. And it says, I've got a stat here that says opponents blew by him on 44% of the drives this season, the highest percentage in his career since any of those stats began in 2013, 2014. They shot almost 50% with Lowry as the closest defender. And yeah, I see a slippage. Hopefully it was just because of the injuries and not, something age-wise. He still has $58 million remaining on his contract. So, yeah, Miami's hoping that it was just the injury that was slowing him down. They have $135 million in guaranteed contracts going into next year, $96 million for Butler, Bam, and Lowry. So 96 for those 3 guys. Very top heavy, and trying to fit in pieces around them could be difficult when about $100 million is going to 3 guys.
Yeah, it could be tricky. And let's be honest here. It'd be very tricky, very tricky. But like if movements have to be made, or if the front office needs to make a move, because there's 2 guys that definitely will not be moved. Actually, I'd say 4 guys: Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. I think everybody else is there's a possibility that they could be moved from the team. So if they're looking for that other piece, there could be movement there, or because they did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with this team, they might make very, very minimalist moves and run it back again.
Yeah. Victor Oladipo had a resurgence after a couple of seasons lost to injury in his time when he stepped up in Lowry's absence. He looked great, and I think he's going to be somebody that other teams target on the free agent market.
Yeah, and he's shown that he's getting back. I don't know if he'll get it all back to like that all-star caliber level that we once saw him play at, but he's proven that he can be a valuable piece to any team. He still has game, and he still has game that translates over into wins and losses. And if you get Victor Oladipo, I think you're getting a winner. You're getting a guy that's a competitor.
Yeah. I actually don't think Duncan Robinson is untouchable. He's guaranteed $65 million over the next 4 years, and I think they're going to part ways with him. I think we've seen the last of him in Miami.
Wow, really? Because they just gifted him that contract.
Yeah.
And then also too, he's still one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
Yeah.
So like if you want a gunner, and they need it, every team needs a gunner, an absolute knockdown 3-point shooter, and that's what Duncan Robinson is. That's why I said they're probably not going to get rid of him, because every team needs a guy like that, and they're really hard to find.
Yeah, they can be, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't see him being utilized very much in that playoff run, and I just think for some reason Spoelstra has soured on him a little bit, and I just think he's the possibility of opening up some cap room by making a trade or dumping him somehow.
Yeah, no, the possibility's there, and he makes quite a bit of money, so that would free up a lot of cap space.
Yeah. Currently, while we're doing this podcast, it's Game 7 between the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Second round heading into the next round. Rangers have absolutely seized control in this, and it's 5-1 halfway through the third period. Looks like the Rangers will be advancing. So Carolina was undefeated at home in the entire playoffs. Lost every game on the road, undefeated at home. This is a home date, but the script has been flipped, and the Rangers look like they're moving on. So that's why I've been sort of looking off to the side, if anybody noticed. But okay, so tell me about this final. You mentioned obviously the scoring depth that the Golden State has. Boston has scoring depth as well, but their defense is great. I think maybe even better than Golden State this year defensively. What's your prediction? What do you think we're going to see? Who's going to win and how many games?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be an entertaining finals. Number one, I want to say that, and also too, I think, I might be a little bit biased here. I'm a Golden State guy. I'm biased, and I really want to see Steph get back to the top of the mountain. I think it's Golden State in 6 games, and I think I'm just going to add this in there. I think Steph Curry gets Finals MVP.
Yeah, everybody talks about him, never getting that MVP and those 3 titles, and it being sort of a blemish on his record, and a missing piece on his resume. Hope he gets it. He was able to get the conference finals MVP, first time it was ever awarded, and that was good. But it would be nice to see him finally get that, because he has been the guy that has been crucial to these championship runs, and one of the guys that should have had it already. I laughed when he stepped up to the microphone. He was laughing, and they said, "Why are you laughing?" And he said, Iguodala just turned and said, "Oh, finally, now you got an MVP. Yay," because now everybody won't be mad at me anymore. I thought that was pretty awesome. He really got a kick out of that.
Of course he did. Like, that is awesome, because one of the most unlikely people to get a Finals MVP was Andre Iguodala for that historic run that they had. And it's funny that he's poking a little jab at Steph Curry, future Hall of Famer, greatest 3-point shooter that we've ever seen, period, ever in modern day basketball.
Boston is going for their 18th title right now. Both LA and Boston have 17 titles each in their franchise history. So Boston's trying to go one up on them again. This will be Golden State trying for their 7th title in their franchise, but 6 finals in the last 6 finals in the last 8 years. They won 3 titles. Obviously, they lost to the Cavs the one year when LeBron returned to Cleveland, and then they lost to the Raptors when both KD and Clay both went down with injury, and Canada got its first championship here north of the border. Yeah, this is definitely an amazing accomplishment for a team that a lot of people said was done. This was their chance. This was their window. Steph's too old now. Draymond doesn't have it anymore. How's Clay ever going to come back from 2 horrific injuries like that? How are they going to fit these pieces of the puzzle in when KD leaves? And yeah, this is an absolutely phenomenal accomplishment for this franchise.
Yeah, it is. It is. Sometimes I wonder if KD's looking at this going, maybe I shouldn't have left. Yeah. But, that's in the past. And you got to give Golden State's front office a lot of credit where credit is due for making the moves that they did, so that they really, let's say this, they retooled for literally 2 years and they're back again, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, I don't think there's many teams that you could say in history that has been able to do what Golden State just did.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to 6 finals, retool for 2 years, or go to a certain number of finals, retool for 2 years, and then come right back.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait for Thursday. Both teams get some rest this week to heal up, and everyone, hopefully is fully healthy, and we can see both teams. I was kind of hoping for Miami to win because I thought Golden State had a bit better chance of beating Miami than Boston, but I'm looking forward to a great, long, drawn-out series. I've been a Golden State fan for many, many years since Steph arrived there, and yeah, I'm definitely cheering for them. I think it's good for basketball. They play basketball the most exciting way, the best way, getting the team involved. You mentioned it right off the top, how they're just, constantly passing the ball to that open man, and so much movement. Yeah, if you don't watch basketball and you're watching this podcast, tune in and watch Golden State play. It is an absolute dream to watch, and you'll become a fan of basketball. They know how to play the game right, and I'm glad they stuck to their guns. They stuck with these guys. They didn't trade Curry. They didn't make some crazy wild moves. They've stuck to this, and it's benefiting them with another run to the final. This is in San Francisco, so not across the bay in Oakland anymore. This is sort of a new fan base in a lot of ways, and but this is great. This is great for the game because it's a copycat league. A lot of other organizations are going to try to run the league, run their teams the same way as Golden State does, and we're going to see some more exciting basketball from many more organizations.
Well, I hope so, because copycat league means that whatever those guys are doing is working. Yeah. So, and whatever these guys are doing, Golden State, either be on offense or Boston's defense, it works. Yeah. Right. And then also too, Boston has a subtly different approach with Golden State in particular. So I'm looking forward to this series, because I think the coaches are going to determine this series as much as the players are, with the tweaks that they're going to have to make on offense and defense.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Thursday, first game, Sunday, which is my birthday, game 2. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to catch a Vancouver Canadians game during the afternoon, and then go somewhere fun to watch the Warriors go up 2-0, and get the series rolling really well. We were actually supposed to go to see a soccer match between Team Canada and Iran, and that game has now been canceled because of too many protests about Iran coming in and playing soccer here. So that really sucked. We had some great plans to go and see our soccer nation, who's finally qualified for the World Cup coming up in Qatar. And yeah, people got all political about it. And now this game isn't happening. We got to wait a while to get our money back. And yeah, I wasn't really very happy about that.
Yeah, of course you're not too happy about that because, well, why would you want to ruin my birthday? Ruin my birthday. Yeah, but at least the good thing is you managed to find a substitute. And watching the Canadians game, not a bad substitute. Not bad.
That'll be fun. I'm glad they're playing here locally on my birthday. Speaking of birthdays, this past weekend, great buddy of mine turned 50 years old, the big 50. Had to make a surprise trip over to Vancouver Island and go visit him. I just jumped on the ferry, drove to his house, knocked on his door. When I arrived at his house, his truck wasn't in the driveway, and I thought, oh great, he's away for the weekend. Knowing my luck, he's gone. I made this trip for nothing, but he opened the door and there he was, and we ended up having a great time together. I was kind of annoyed most of the weekend though, because of the ferries. That is just so brutal. I need to start getting people to sign a petition to build a bridge. I just am so bloody sick of the ferries. It is so outrageous how much money it costs, how incompetent they are, how I just can't even believe that some place that's only 35 kilometers away, it takes me 5-6 hours to get there and get back, and they're charging me massive amount of money for absolute horrific service. So man, like, geez, I just cannot believe how bad the ferries are.
Yeah. I can't discount anything that you've said. I've gone through it myself. Going there, I went over to the island. Must have been like last year, and going there was fine for me, but coming back, oh my good, like it was an all-day affair. It took me 5.5 hours to get back from there to here. Where in my head I was like, would I have been better off just taking the helicopter?
Yeah. I think it's better to take a helicopter or a seaplane or something now. Yeah, I think I should just not subject myself to this pain anymore, because yeah, it's just making me not want to go there. And I got a best buddy, got some family over there, my dad, and lots of friends, and oh man, it's just unbelievable. I was actually talking to a colleague the other day, and he met his girlfriend's dad. His dad came over to visit them, and he said, yeah, I think her dad hasn't been off the island to the mainland since the 80s. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And it's, as I said, like 35 kilometers away. And he just, I guess he got sick at a very young age, decided, no, I'm never making that trip again.
No, yeah. So some of us have quicker triggers than others. His was in the 80s. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm done.
It was insane. And I guess the other rant, I need to get one more thing off my chest. Sorry, you're being my therapist tonight, but I need to get somebody on the case of how many red lights this city has added in the past, let's say 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It is just sickening to try to travel around the city now. I get stuck at red light after red light after red light. One block, there's a block, and then there's another red light, and block, another red light. I think they've added hundreds and hundreds of red lights in the past few years. And I don't get why a city would want to just gridlock the hell out of itself and not let everybody get around and get their things done that they need to do. This city is just ridiculous right now. It's ridiculous to try to get anywhere in a quick fashion. I don't get how somebody could be a planner and put this in front of everybody who needs to get places around.
First off, what are you in a hurry for? Why are you in a hurry? You shouldn't be in a hurry. Not in this city anyway.
I got things to do with my life. I don't want to be sitting in my car in traffic for the rest of my life. I got things to do.
That is too bad, because in this city, that's what you're going to do. Half of your life is going to be spent in the car, being safe at a red light, not moving. You want to know why? And I feel kind of encouraged by this, because the city cares about our safety.
Oh,
that's why it won't let us move. Anyway.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, you always play devil's advocate, but that one is a stretch. That one's a very big stretch.
I know. It's a little bit of a stretch, a little bit. Oh. But that, for me, I look at it and I just go, oh, they care. They care. They don't want us to move around. They don't want us to go anywhere. What they do want us to do is stop at a red light and just stop there.
Just
and
wait,
that's it.
And wait some more. Oh my goodness. Yeah, unbelievable. I was talking, obviously, being in traffic is a tough thing. And honestly, every single morning too, I'm hearing about accidents. But I heard about a couple of accidents over the weekend that really surprised me. Arizona Cardinals cornerback Jeff Gladney was killed in a car wreck this morning in Dallas, Texas. Him and an unidentified female were involved in a two-car collision. His car was flipped over, and the occupants in the other vehicle were not injured, but he was killed. 25 years old. He was a first-round pick out of Texas Christian University in 2020 by the Vikings, and he just signed a 2-year contract with the Cardinals in March. And he passed away this morning at 25 years old. The whole NFL community is mourning, and especially all the organizations that he played for.
Oh yeah, that's I did see something about that. I think it was a Instagram post from JJ Watt saying rest in peace. And it's an unfortunate accident. These things always suck, whether it be in a celebrity, an athlete, a normal human being, a civilian, anybody sucks. It's unfortunate, and I only wish the best for his friends and loved ones.
I want to talk about another car accident in 1 second, but while I'm on the NFL, I do want to just mention that Antonio Brown said he will not play in the NFL in the upcoming 2023 season here. Do you think that this was the last we've seen of Antonio Brown after he had that meltdown and left the Tampa Bay Bucks?
Yeah, that it's nice that he gave us like the heads up that he's out. I don't know if anybody really cared, but I appreciate the fact that he gave everybody the heads up that he's going to be unavailable for this particular season. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, would a team have taken a flyer on him? I think a lot of teams would have taken a flyer on him because they won't have to pay him that much money, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But then again, maybe that's why he took the year off, because he feels he's not going to get the money that he's owed or that he's worth, right? So, at the same time, man, it's unfortunate, but these last couple of years, we've kind of seen a particular trend with Antonio Brown, which is really hard to deal with in the locker room. And if you got a great team, you don't need that. You just don't need that element. You don't need that wild card who you don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to go off. So, I think other teams are just like, oh, well, you know what? We'll just go in the draft and we'll get ourselves a receiver. Yeah,
going a different direction, I guess. I thought he would have tried to continue his career right away, but I guess he needs another year off. And I don't know. We might have been the last we've seen of him in an NFL uniform, but as you say, there was probably going to be a bit of a lineup of teams that wanted to sign him, because He's not he's not able to garner much of a contract, a high level contract, because of all his incidents and meltdowns he's had over his career.
Yeah, because of all the antics and everything else. You know, if you get him at the right price point, I think teams would be interested. But if he's going to price himself out of the market, then he's going to be out. You know, like, so. Yeah, I think this is a very, very good indication that this might be the end of it. This might be the end of his career, and it's done, because he's also too, I believe he's in his mid-30s now. So yeah.
Yeah. He made an announcement at some point over the past year that he wanted to finish his career with Pittsburgh. He wanted to retire a Steeler. So we'll see if that ends up ever happening. As I mentioned, I wanted to talk about an accident. One of your favorite UFC fighters, Trailblazer, the mouth, Kevin Holland, saved another man's life this past weekend. A truck driver was driving, I think he was coming down a ramp off the highway. Somehow his truck ended up flipping over, and Kevin stopped his car, jumped out, pulled the guy out of the wreckage. He said he was quite scared. He said some of the other incidences, I haven't been scared, but this one really worried me because a lot of fluids were pouring out of the truck at the time. And we've all seen on, action movies, boom, big explosion. And the guy fought him off a little bit as he was pulling him out, saying, I need to get my phone. I need to get my stuff. And he's like, I got another phone for you, dude. Like, come on, let's get out of here. And he pulled him out of the wreck, and it was a hero again. Another time, he's been doing this quite frequently over the past year or two.
Yeah, maybe he should change his name to like Vigilante. Like he's just a hero.
Yeah.
He's a hero, and it's kind of nice to hear these nice stories, about like people doing good for one another, as opposed to the other side of it, which we hear way too much of. Absolutely. So, hey, that's good on Kevin, and it's great PR for him, because all he's doing is fighting people legally in an octagon or rescuing people on his off time. Not bad.
He's got a fight coming up against Tim Means very soon, and it'll be great to see him back in the cage doing what he's best at. In October of 2020, he apprehended a alleged car thief, a guy who had stolen a car supposedly, and crashed that car, carjacked another vehicle. Kevin Holland chased him down and held him down till the police arrived. He also took down an active shooter in March of this year. He was sitting in a sushi restaurant having some dinner, and some guys came in, shot. Some gunshots were fired. He ended up running to the guy, pinning him down, gave him a rear naked choke, held him down till the police arrived. And he's in a rough neighborhood of Houston. A lot of things going on, but he's definitely not too worried about jumping in and helping out and saving people's lives.
Yeah, no, he's not at all. Like Kevin Batman Holland, maybe.
Yeah. He said he loves Batman, and he said he wouldn't mind getting that nickname changed from Trailblazer to Batman.
Yeah, that's more poignant. He keeps doing stuff like this on his off time, as opposed to when he's training for fights. You might just get that name.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be fun. Yeah. Why don't we promote the UFC coming up? There was no UFC this past weekend, but we have a UFC fight night coming up June the 4th on this Saturday at the Apex in Vegas. This will be the start of 12 consecutive weeks of events. So we had 1 week off, and now 3 months on. So that's pretty great. In the main event, we've got the heavyweights Alexander Volkov and Jairzinho Rozenstruik, which should be a really good stand-up war between two super tough guys that can knock people out. I'm excited about seeing this battle.
I am too, but I'm a little bit questioning. I thought the last time we saw Alexander Volkov in the octagon, that he actually kind of suffered, I don't know, like a major injury from that arm bar from Aspinall.
Yeah.
Like either it dislocated or broke his forearm. So, or dislocated his elbow, I should say. So I'm actually kind of surprised to see him back in the octagon as quickly as he is.
Yeah.
So I guess he's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Like I'm
Superhero.
legitimately surprised that he's back in as quickly as he is after that brutal loss. But
Yeah.
that will be a great fight. Both guys have the power to knock each other out, but I think I'm going to give the advantage to Rozenstruik.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think so.
I think you're right with that one. Yeah, Rozenstruik has really proved to be that, you know, one of those top elite heavyweights, and he's got lethal hands, and Volkov, I mean, he's a veteran, been around forever, but I think Rozenstruik has the advantage in my opinion. In the co-main event, we've got Dan Ige taking on the undefeated Movsar Evloev. I don't know. This Evloev is tough. I don't know if Ige stands a chance. What do you think we're going to see?
This is a big step up for Evloev, though. This is a big step up. Like that Ige is no joke. This will either prove the fact of why he's undefeated, and if he's that good, or Ige wins, but he wins a very, very tough match, and it's super close.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I think this ends. Like either Evloev, I think, either finishes it and may finish it decisively, or Ige wins a very, very, very tough war.
Okay. So. Yeah. Let's see. It's an early start. The main card starts at 1 o'clock at Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Quite early there. Let's see. What else can I notice? Felice Herrig, Carolina Kovacevic. This is a rematch. They had a fight 4 years ago. Kovacevic beat Herring by a split decision, UFC 223 in Brooklyn. They both have struggled recently and are in need of a win. Whoever loses might not be in the UFC anymore, and so you're probably going to see two girls really throw it down. Usually when somebody's back's against the wall and they're running the risk of losing out their career in the UFC, usually we see a good performance by them.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see excellent performances from both women. But honestly, at this point in time with both of them, I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Even money for both of them, for any one of them to win this fight. I think it's even. I couldn't tell you who would win, but I'm hoping that it's going to be one hell of a fight.
I love Alonzo Menafield. Really excited to see him fight. Man, that guy is tough, and love his fighting style. Yeah,
power, and more power. Yeah. He's got the power to knock you out, knock you silly. That's why I like watching that guy fight.
Yeah. Anything else on the prelims you want to mention?
Yes, the guy that's in the main fight for the prelims with Joe Selecki. Haven't seen him fight for a while, and so I'm quite I'm excited to see him fight again because I really like his fighting style.
Yeah. And we're just a little over a week away from UFC 275. We've got a couple of title fights coming up. Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka. This will be a great battle. Glover finally realizing his aspirations to get a belt wrapped around his waist in his early 40s. Prochazka, the young guy coming in, trying to knock the old guy off the perch. I think this is going to be a heck of a battle.
I think it's going to be a heck of a battle. I'm going with Prochazka though. I'm going with Prochazka because the dude's got serious power.
Yeah.
Serious power in all of his limbs. It doesn't matter what he hits you with. And also too, his stand-up style is so ridiculously unique, so ridiculously, that's his style, and trying to practice for that style, I'm sorry to say, it's freaking impossible.
Yeah.
And because of that unique style, because of the way that he attacks, weird, odd angles, super, super powerful, I'm picking him to beat Glover but I know it's not going to be easy because Glover is incredibly durable.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. Valentina Shevchenko going to keep her belt, I'm sure about it. We've seen Amanda Nunes lose. We saw Rose lose, both in shocking fashion. I just don't see this happening for Valentina. She better not take Talia Santos lightly, but she's probably the greatest fighter on the planet right now after Amanda just had a horrifically bad performance in her last fight. So I think Shevchenko continues on with the belt.
I think Shevchenko continues on with this belt forever, possibly.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, as long as she stays in shape, I don't think anybody's ever going to take her belt away from her. As you know, I'm incredibly biased. She's one of my favorite fighters. I love watching this woman do her work in the octagon. She doesn't take anybody lightly.
No.
She takes one fight at a time. She's a pro's pro.
Yeah.
Professional through and through. I just don't see her slipping against Santos. I literally don't see her slipping against anybody unless she's challenging for a belt.
Yeah.
And even then, I still think I favor her over any lady that's in any of the divisions right now. I would favor her.
Yeah,
right now, as it is.
Yeah, me too.
So,
yeah. She's the best. And then we've got the Weili Zhang against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Both these ladies really know how to bring it, and have hell of a lot of heart, and can really throw down. I'm excited to see these girls bang again.
Yes, because we've already seen this before, right?
Yeah.
And now they're going to run it back, which is fantastic, awesome. And we haven't seen Joanna step in the octagon for quite some time. Don't know if it was due to injury. Don't know if it was due to her, family stuff. But either way, I am super excited and ecstatic that she's come back into the octagon and against that woman right there, where she had one of her greatest matches that she's ever had.
Yeah.
So if she's going to come back, she's going to make a big splash. That's the way to do it. Awesome.
The only down that I can see with this card was Robert Whittaker, Marvin Vettori were supposed to fight on this card. That has been canceled or postponed. That's really too bad, because that would have been a heck of a battle. On the featured fight on the prelims, Brendan Allen, love watching this guy fight, and I see a good battle against Jacob Malkoun.
Yeah, I do too. And I think that's a quick changeover for Brendan Allen. I believe we've just recently seen him in the octagon too. So, you know what? I understand when a fighter feels that he's hot, strike while the iron's hot. Yeah. We've seen a number of fighters do that over the years, where they're just like, I'm in my sweet spot and I got to go. Like, I think one of the best runs that we've ever seen was Don Cerrone. I think he had 6 or 7 wins in a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like when you're hot and you know it, hey, it's time to make hay. And I think this might be Brendan Allen's time to make it right now.
Yeah. Okay, I want to switch to a little bit of boxing news. Got to see a great fight over the weekend between Gervonta Tank Davis against Rolando Romero. Romero fought really fantastic for the first 5 rounds. Really was taking it to him, and then Tank just unleashed an absolute bomb and changed the fight, took him out. A big KO win in the 6th round, and it was quite the shock, because he was definitely losing the fight, but he's got so much power that he was able to land that one shot and take him out. Yeah,
and that's the thing with Gervonta, is he may be a smaller stature man for boxing, but he carries a tremendous amount of power. Yeah. And with guys doesn't matter what division they're in, any guy that has fight ending power like that, never out of the fight.
No.
Even if it looks like they're brutally losing, all they got to do is just wait that one beautiful hook, uppercut, left, straight, whatever it may be, and it's over.
Yeah, he just caught him with a left hand, and he just went face first into the ropes, and then he just like slid down the ropes, and it was over. It was pretty wild. Ryan Garcia was ringside, and he was just constantly screaming and yelling at him. I'm next, fight me, you chicken. They really had a lot of words against each other. It looks like that fight could happen in the very near future, probably by the end of the year. But they just announced Garcia will be fighting Javier Fortuna on July 16th for the lightweight next man up. Garcia's number 6 and Fortuna's number 10 right now. Fortuna's record's 37-3-1 with 26 KOs. Garcia's still undefeated, 22-0 with 18 KOs. These guys were supposed to fight a year ago, July 2021. Garcia said that he couldn't do it. He was focusing in on his mental health, which was a concern at the time for him. He did undergo some wrist surgery late in the year. He has fought since that. In April, he won a decision over Emmanuel Tago. He was angry and screaming and yelling and trying for this fight against Tank. And let's hope it happens. I think those two against each other would be a hell of a fight.
That would be a great fight. That'd be a fantastic fight. And hopefully he pissed him off just enough to make the fight happen. It's kind of funny when these guys go, I guess I got to piss this guy off just to make this fight happen. So I'm just going to yell some crazy stuff at him. And then hopefully he goes, I want to fight that guy. And it's like, great, because that's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't seen the knockout, oh man, it was a hell of a one. For 135 pounder, man, I just couldn't believe the punch, and there was no way he was getting up. That was a done deal. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch it because I haven't seen that knockout, but it sounds nice.
Yeah. So what are you going to do this week with no basketball? Man, you got a few days to just chill. What are you going to watch? Marvel movies? What do you got on your plate?
I'm trying to accept the role that I've been given now, which is like I'm an old man now. So I'm probably just gonna read. I'm gonna take out my book. I'm just gonna read my book in silence because that's what I need now as an old man. And that's it. That's my week.
Okay. All right. Sounds terrible. Your life is ticking away already. You're an old man. You don't look that old, but I guess you are.
Yeah. That's the great thing about me is that I don't look it, but I am.
All right. Well, make sure you take your Geritol and rub all your cream on your aching joints. And how is the health? How's the shoulder? How's everything coming along?
Actually, you know what? Glad you asked. Thank you. The shoulder's coming along great. Things are coming along great, actually. My physio is happy with my progress, and so is the doctor. So
great.
And that's all I can ask for. So away we go.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. The final, Rangers won 6-2, advanced to the next round. Everybody here in Canada seems to be jumping on the Edmonton Oilers bandwagon as they about to embark on their conference final series against the Colorado Avalanche. But I hear you're not jumping on the bandwagon for the Oilers.
Oh, you want me to go over this one again, huh? This old chestnut. Okay, no problem. As a child, it wasn't the best thing to learn about hatred as a child. Like it's not great to hate as a kid.
Right.
But unfortunately, I learned how to hate my own best team, like my favorite team in hockey. It was my favorite team.
Okay.
Edmonton Oilers. What had happened was the owner at the time, Peter Pocklington, had sold Wayne Gretzky like he was a piece of meat from one of his factories, the store.
Right.
Wayne Gretzky is not a piece of meat. He's a freaking Canadian icon. You don't ever trade a man like that for any amount of money.
No.
Any amount. You know how many Stanley Cups? 4. I think it was 4. And then you just go, you know what? I think I'm good. No more for me. Well, you did get more. But that's not the point. The point is you trade away the greatest player that we've ever seen in hockey. You don't do that. And so as a child, I'm a child now. I learned hate deep in my heart. And I said to myself, never again can I ever cheer for this team, put my heart out. How dare you? I'm a Detroit Red Wings guy now.
Wow. That's it.
And unfortunately, what people don't know is this. I'm sorry. I cursed the team. I don't know if you're ever going to win as long as I'm alive. And unfortunately, as I told you before, probably till the 90s. So I think you guys got like 50 or 60 years. 50 or 60 years.
Wow.
There you go.
Sorry, Oilers fans. Jeez, the Cameron curse has been unleashed. And what year is it? 2022. So 2082 before you got a chance for this. That's that's gonna be a while. Holy cow.
Hey, it's gonna be a great year though, right? 2082. You guys gonna win. Yes.
Yeah, well, if the Oilers do not win this year, it will be 30 years, 30-year drought since a Canadian team hoisted the Stanley Cup. We've had a few Canadian teams reach the finals, but not one of them has been able to get the cup raised since 1993 when Montreal Canadiens won. So yeah, it's a crazy drought. Nobody seems to know why it's been this long, but yeah, I guess in Edmonton now they know why. There's a curse.
Yeah. Now you know. I'm sorry, but he should never have done that. Shouldn't have done that to us. Shouldn't have done that to me.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I never knew that story, but yeah, great to know that it was Pocklington that unleashed the curse that Oilers fans will be having to deal with misery until you die. Yeah,
literally. Like I wouldn't have done that, but you know, I'm not Peter Pocklington.
Yeah.
Moron.
The Leafs curse was supposedly brought on by a guy who played with them, and they stiffed him for $2,400. And he said, no, you didn't pay me. I'm promising you will not win a cup as long as I'm alive. And Brendan Shanahan took over the team a few years ago and heard about this curse and paid the guy his $2,400. And the guy said, okay, I'm lifting the curse. Here it is. But I don't know, maybe he wasn't able to. It was just too entrenched in lore. And even though he got his $2,400, maybe 50 years later, it still hasn't lifted the curse on the Leafs.
First off, Shanahan made a huge mistake. Interest, buddy. Interest. Didn't add the interest on, means the curse is actually got officially lifted. You should have probably paid him double.
Yeah.
Like, just to make sure that the curse is gone.
Yeah, $2,400 in 1967. More different than the 2020.
Yeah. And I don't even know why he didn't think that. Yeah. Why would you not think that? I know that's the first thing I would think of. It's like, it's a real curse because we really haven't won. So I'm really going to give him all this money. That's it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, man, I plan to, I plan to try to run as many red lights as I can in the next coming days, and never get back on the ferry for maybe a couple of years, and so I don't have to give any more rants in our podcast, and I can just be a happy man. But this was a fun podcast, a little shorter because not as much is going on. We're getting close to those dog days of summer soon. Did you hear that it's actually going to be 24 degrees on Wednesday?
No. I had no idea. Okay,
Mhm.
that's good because like this May has been probably one of the coldest Mays I can remember. Like
Yeah.
it has actually, we've had no semblance of summers around the corner at all. Like the
No,
weather hasn't given us any of that.
this 2022 has just been horrifically terrible weather. We haven't had a spring at all. I don't know where spring decided to just not come this year, but 24 degrees and it's not even supposed to be sunny. So that's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Great.
24 with no sun. But anyway, we've reached the end of May. We're into June now, starting this week. And I'm excited about the Celtics Warriors series. I didn't enjoy the conference finals that much, but I'm really, really chomping at the bit for this series. And I think it can be really 7 phenomenal games, and we'll see Golden State get another title.
Yes. Golden State will hoist that championship up again. Steph Curry goes, see, I told you I could win the finals MVP if I wanted to. Yeah. Apparently I did this time. So there you go. Done.
He gave it to Andre, gave it to KD. I'll take one now. Sure. Why not?
I'll take one now. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Because he's your ultimate team player. He'll take a back seat and he doesn't have a problem with it. But you want to know why? Because that's part of his greatness.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Okay, buddy. This was fun. Great to do this. Keep in touch. I'm glad to hear your shoulder's doing well, and enjoy your book.
No, definitely. We'll definitely enjoy the book, and I'll see you next Monday.
Okay, buddy. Cheers. Bye for now. Okay. Wow, that was fun. A little longer than I expected, but still kind of a short podcast compared to usual. Thanks so much for sticking in. Hope you enjoyed our conversation as always. And I hope you enjoy the 24-degree weather if you're living around here. And hopefully if you're not living around here, it's been spring-like weather and good weather around you. I had a great weekend. Went over the island seeing my friends, and that was great. And I back at work here this week. I do want to say thank you to our partners and sponsors. Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Go to anchor.fm and follow those details. Phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And as you know, the V350 stick is a must-have for anybody that's a hockey player in your inner circle. I want to mention Pampas and Possibilities, really great designers of West Coast pretty things to put in your home and spruce it up, make it look great. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. You can purchase products on our website, completesportsmedia.com, and get discounts for being close to us. So, love you guys lots. Always appreciate the support. Tell your friends, tell your family. Check out our websites at completesportsmedia.com and completemedianetwork.com. Can shoot you out to our whole big family. And I guess we will talk soon. Trying to do some podcasts through the middle of the week here. Keep tuned in, and we'll provide you with some excellent entertainment. Love you. Bye for now.